The greatest threats to your safety are not the people who openly despise you. They're not the ones who argue with you, challenge you, or even shout at you in moments of conflict. No, the most dangerous individuals are the ones who smile at you, who pretend to support you, all while quietly plotting your downfall behind the scenes. And in the worst cases, they aren't just looking to ruin your reputation or sabotage your success. They may have much darker intentions. You might think this sounds extreme, but the truth is far more unsettling than most people realize. Right now, as you go about your daily life, there could be someone close to you, someone you trust, harboring hidden resentment, envy, or even malice. And what makes this reality even more terrifying is that these threats often go unnoticed until it's too late. This is not paranoia. It's not baseless fear-mongering. This is self-preservation and understanding of human nature that could one day save your life. Many people assume that true danger comes with obvious warnings, hostility, aggression, or open threats. But in reality, the most insidious threats are the ones that disguise themselves as friendship, loyalty, or harmless presence. The ability to recognize these hidden dangers is not just important, it's essential. In the next few moments, you're going to learn 5 crucial signs that most people completely overlook, subtle, yet powerful indicators that someone in your life might be more than just a rival or a jealous acquaintance. These signs separate the merely unfriendly from the truly dangerous. And the first, most chilling sign: the silent observer. Let's dive in. 1. The silent observer, watching you more closely than you realize. This isn't just a nosy neighbor peeking through their curtains or a casual social media follower who likes your posts from time to time. When someone harbors dangerous intentions, their way of watching you goes far beyond idle curiosity or even typical resentment. They don't just notice you, they study you. A true silent observer doesn't merely keep track of your public life. They gather information with a precision that most people never suspect. They learn your habits, your routines, and even the smallest details about your daily existence. And what makes them truly terrifying? They do it so subtly, so seamlessly, that you don't realize it's happening until it's too late. Take a moment to think about your online presence. Have you ever noticed someone who always seems to know where you've been, even when you never explicitly posted about it? Perhaps they comment on a location you visited, mention something you did, or reference an event you never told them about. They might not be stalking you in the traditional sense, but they're piecing together a disturbingly accurate picture of your life, sometimes just by analyzing the posts of mutual friends, tracking check-ins, or even studying minor details in your photos. But the danger doesn't stop at the digital world. Silent observers take their scrutiny further, finding intricate ways to track your physical movements. They know which coffee shop you visit every morning, what time you hit the gym, where you like to shop, and even which route you take home. And then, something unsettling happens. They start showing up. At first, it might seem like a coincidence, just another familiar face at your favorite cafe, or someone who happens to be at the gym when you are. But then it keeps happening. Over and over again. They appear too frequently, too conveniently, always at the right place and time. Suddenly, they're there at the grocery store when you're picking up your usual items, walking past your office building just as you step outside, or showing up at a bar where you never expected to run into them. This is not fate. This is not a harmless coincidence. This is deliberate surveillance. And if you don't recognize it early enough, you may only realize the danger when it's already closing in around you. 2. The sabotage strategy, when someone systematically destroys your life. This is more than simple hostility or petty jealousy. This is a calculated, methodical effort to tear down everything that supports your reputation, your relationships, your career, and even your sense of self. The person behind this doesn't just want to see you struggle. They want to see you completely isolated, vulnerable, and ultimately powerless. And the most terrifying part, they do it so subtly, so meticulously, that you don't even realize what's happening until the damage is already done. It begins with whispers. Tiny, seemingly harmless comments made in passing, remarks that, at first glance, don't seem like attacks at all. They might mention an observation about you to a coworker, something vague enough to plant doubt, but not so direct that it raises alarms. Or they might confide in a mutual friend, expressing concern about your behavior in a way that sows mistrust. These small manipulations spread like poison. They create cracks in your relationships, both personal and professional, until those cracks widen into chasms. People you once trusted start looking at you differently. They hesitate before confiding in you. They withdraw without explanation, and you have no idea why. Have you noticed conflicts arising in your life lately, ones that seem to come out of nowhere? Have you found yourself at the center of misunderstandings that you never saw coming? Is there someone who always seems to be present when problems arise, but manages to remain on the sidelines, appearing innocent and uninvolved? That's not a coincidence. That's a deliberate attack. This person isn't just gossiping about you. They are strategically dismantling the support systems that protect you. They destroy your reputation at work. Perhaps they spread subtle, but damaging rumors that you're unreliable, difficult to work with, or even unethical. They might accidentally misrepresent your words or actions in a way that makes you seem incompetent or problematic. Before you know it, promotions slip away, colleagues stop trusting you, and your professional future is at risk. They poison your personal relationships. Maybe they hint to your friends that you've been talking behind their backs, or they tell your partner something misleading to create doubt and insecurity. Little by little, they make it harder for you to trust others and harder for others to trust you. They engineer situations that make you look unstable, untrustworthy, or even dangerous. They manipulate circumstances to make it seem like you're the problem, the aggressor, or the one who can't be counted on. The worst part? When you try to explain yourself, you look defensive, like you have something to hide. So how do you protect yourself from this kind of insidious attack? Document everything. Keep records of important conversations, emails, and messages. If something feels off, make a note of it. Pay attention to patterns. If conflicts and misunderstandings keep circling back to the same person, that's a red flag. Strengthen your trusted support network. Surround yourself with people who know you well enough not to be easily swayed by deception. If someone suddenly tries to make you doubt a close friend or loved one, question their motives. Most importantly, don't ignore the warning signs. The person orchestrating this chaos isn't just trying to cause minor problems in your life. They are waging psychological warfare, one carefully placed lie at a time. 3. The mask of friendship when betrayal wears a smile. Think about someone in your life who, seemingly out of nowhere, has become unusually friendly with you. Maybe they were once just a distant acquaintance, someone who barely acknowledged you, but suddenly they seem genuinely interested in your life. They ask questions, remember details, and always seem eager to spend time with you. At first, it felt flattering. Finally, someone who really listens, someone who seems to care. But what if this kindness isn't as innocent as it appears? This isn't just a new friendship forming naturally. This is infiltration. The person behind this strategy doesn't simply want to be close to you, they want access. They work their way into your world with alarming speed, breaking down your walls before you even realize it's happening. They become your confidants. They listen attentively when you vent about work frustrations, relationship struggles, or personal fears. You feel safe opening up to them because they seem so supportive, so understanding. They integrate themselves into your routine. Maybe they start showing up at your favorite places, developing an interest in the things you love. If you are into fitness, they suddenly want to be your gym buddy. If you love a certain calf, they start, coincidentally, being there whenever you go. They connect with your inner circle. In some cases, they go beyond just befriending you. They charm your friends, win over your family, and become a trusted figure in your social sphere. Before long, they are deeply embedded in your life. But here's the danger. Everything you share with them is being weaponized. Every vulnerable moment, every secret you confide, every offhand comment you make, it's all being stored, waiting for the perfect moment to be used against you. That embarrassing story you told them in confidence. One day, you might hear it repeated in a room full of people, only now it's twisted just enough to make you look bad. That frustration you expressed about your boss? Suddenly, rumors are circulating at work, and you have no idea how they started. That fight you had with a friend? They subtly encourage the tension, making sure the divide grows deeper, not smaller. At first, their influence is invisible. The damage they do happens in whispers, in small betrayals that seem like misunderstandings rather than deliberate acts. But by the time you see them for who they truly are, they've already built a position of power in your life, one that makes them incredibly difficult to remove. So, how do you recognize this masked betrayer before they can do harm? Be wary of sudden, intense friendships. True bonds form over time. If someone is rushing to integrate themselves into your life, ask yourself why. Notice how much they want to know. A real friend shares as much as they listen. If someone is extracting personal details from you without revealing much about themselves, that's a warning sign. Watch how they interact with others. If they constantly gossip, play both sides, or seem to know too much about other people's private lives, assume they're doing the same with yours. Test the waters. Share a minor, false piece of information and see if it comes back to you through someone else. If it does, you've just confirmed that this person is not as trustworthy as they seem. Not all friendships are built on good intentions. Some people don't want to be close to you because they care. They want to be close to you because it gives them control. And if you don't recognize them in time, you'll only realize their true nature once the damage is already done. 4. The escalation game. Subtle signs of threats you can't ignore. When someone has dangerous intentions, they rarely act impulsively. They don't strike suddenly or without warning. Instead, they test the waters. They experiment with boundaries. They escalate slowly, methodically, until they know just how much they can get away with. It starts small. A comment that seems off, but not alarming. A moment of discomfort that you brush off as an accident. But these aren't accidents. They're calculated steps in a dangerous game. The masked threat. They say something unsettling, but disguise it as a joke. You know, if I wanted to, I could make you disappear. Then they laugh, acting as if it was nothing. But was it really? The display of power. Maybe they accidentally let you see a weapon they carry. A knife in their bag, a gun in their car, brass knuckles tucked away just out of sight. It's never shown in a way that directly threatens you just enough to make you aware of its presence. The physical space invasion. They start standing too close. Not in a friendly way, but in a way that makes you feel trapped. They block your path in a doorway, forcing you to step around them. Maybe they accidentally bump into you a little too hard. At first, these things feel easy to dismiss. Maybe they're just socially awkward. Maybe you're overthinking it. But here's what makes this pattern dangerous. Every time you don't react, they push a little further. The harmless joke about hurting someone, it turns into a direct threat one day, the small accidental bump. Next time, it's a shove, the weapon they forgot you could see. Now they're handling it openly, making sure you notice. These are not coincidences. They're tests. And if you fail to recognize them for what they are, the escalation will continue. How to identify and stop the cycle. Trust your instincts. If someone's words or actions make you feel uneasy, don't ignore that feeling. The mind picks up on subtle dangers before we consciously recognize them. Pay attention to patterns. One odd comment or uncomfortable moment could be random. But if it happens repeatedly, you're being conditioned to accept increasing levels of aggression. Set firm boundaries. The moment someone crosses a line, even in a way that seems minor, call it out. If they make a joke about harming you, don't laugh along. Instead, respond seriously. That's not funny. If they block your path or invade your space, step away and make it clear you're uncomfortable. Don't let them isolate you. People who escalate threats often try to separate their targets from others. If someone seems to be maneuvering you into more and more situations where you're alone with them, recognize that as a red flag. Document everything. If you're dealing with someone who makes you feel unsafe, keep records of their behavior. Save texts, emails, and note down any concerning incidents. If things escalate further, having a clear history of their actions can be crucial. Violence rarely happens without warning. The signs are there, but they're designed to be overlooked until it's too late. Recognizing these early red flags isn't paranoia. It's self-preservation. 5. The patient predator playing the long game. The most dangerous people in your life are not the ones who lash out in anger. They are not the ones who explode in fits of rage or act on impulse. The truly dangerous ones are the ones who wait. They do not seek immediate revenge. They do not rush into confrontation. Instead, they study you, calculate their moves, and bide their time, sometimes for months, sometimes for years. They are patient. They are meticulous. And when they finally act, it feels like a strike out of nowhere. At first, they seem harmless. They might appear as a supportive coworker, a friendly neighbor, or even a close confidant. They ask about your future, not because they genuinely care, but because they are gathering information. They ask about your long-term plans. Where will you be in 6 months? Are you planning to move? Change jobs? Travel alone? Every detail you share is a piece of the puzzle they are putting together. They learn your habits, not just where you go, but how you think. Do you trust people easily? Are you someone who avoids confrontation? Do you ignore red flags? They position themselves in your life. Maybe they become a trusted colleague who always offers to help. Maybe they subtly integrate themselves into your friend group. Over time, they ensure that they are in a place where they can manipulate, control, or strike when the time is right. They create a sense of safety. They never push too hard, never act too suspiciously. If they cross a line, they immediately back off only to push further later when your guard is down. This is not impulsive aggression. This is psychological warfare. How to spot a patient predator before it's too late. Watch for unnatural interest in your personal life. A true friend cares about your life, but someone with an agenda will probe for details in a way that feels calculated. Do they ask about your weaknesses? Do they seem overly curious about your vulnerabilities? Pay attention to patterns, not just actions. One act of kindness could be genuine. Consistent pattern of calculated generosity, strategically placed at just the right moments, might indicate manipulation, trust discomfort, even when it's subtle. The most dangerous people are skilled at making you doubt your own instincts. If something feels off, even if you can't explain why, don't ignore it. Limit what you share. Not everyone who asks about your life deserves an answer. Keep your plans, routines, and vulnerabilities private until you fully trust someone, and even then, be cautious. Notice how they react when they don't get what they want. Do they become irritated when you withhold information? Do they pressure you to share more? A manipulator's patience has limits, and when pushed, they will reveal themselves. A predator who plays the long game is not interested in fleeting power. They want total control. And they know that control is built slowly, step by step, while their target remains oblivious. The best defense? Stay aware, stay guarded, and never assume that patience means good intentions. If you've recognized any of these signs, you're not just dealing with someone who dislikes you, you're facing a real threat. Stay vigilant, remember these warning signs, and most importantly, never ignore your intuition.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.